This is my audience. So, athletics is a really huge part in the country, and professional athletes have come to become very large role models for a lot of kids, a lot of even young adults in today's society. Names like Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper, they've all become common names because everybody kind of wants to be like them. They're seeing them play the sport that they love, making millions of dollars. They're really living the dream. One thing though that they can kind of mess up on is they'll use performance enhancing drugs or PEDs. They'll use these because it kind of gives them an advantage to they can hit farther, they can run faster, and so it just helps them gain an advantage over the highly competition that they have in the Major League of Baseball. This needs to be stopped, and they should not allow this to happen. I've done a lot of research, and I also know people in the minor leagues who have been caught using these PEDs. And so we're going to talk about the problems, causes, and solutions that comes with the use of PEDs throughout Major League of Baseball. So some of the biggest problems that it has is that because the athletes have such a large role, the kids that look up to them, they'll see these athletes take these steroids and they'll end up taking them. And this is really bad because they don't have the medication that can kind of balance everything, because when you take these, your hormones just go all whacked up, and so then the kids, they don't have the medications that can give them to balance it. And so with this, the kids can experience liver problems, they can go through anger management, and then they can even get depression, according to the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. And at some points, in extreme cases, this can even lead to suicide. Denise Garibaldi, who was a mother of a Southern California kid, he actually committed suicide, and she blamed steroids for that because she said that she wanted to be like Jose Canseco, or he wanted to be like Jose Canseco, and he saw that how big he was, how much success he was having, so he wanted to be just like him. She also claimed that after he started taking these PEDs, then he was not the same at all. He was just kind of a zombie, and then at other times he would lash out in anger. And so you'll see, like, this is what steroids can look like. Like, this is Barry Bonds before steroids, and then this is him after. And then Jose Canseco, this is a before and after. This is before and then after. You can notice, like, their forearms are just way bigger. Their biceps are a lot bigger. They're just bigger human beings now. So another reason is simply just the fact that you just look at the stars, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco. The kids are looking for them just because of their stats. But what they really should be looking at is their work, their work ethic, their focus, dedication to the game, and their sacrifice for their teammates. If you look, you'll notice that 6 of the 10 career home run leaders came from the steroid era. And so these kids are just like, okay, there's got to be a reason that they're having so much success, so I'm gonna get on these PEDs. So now that we've talked about some of the problems, we're gonna talk about some of the causes. And again, that's just because the athletes, they're getting paid so much more, so they have the availability to get these medications that can balance out their hormones, and the kids just don't have that opportunity, and so they're a lot more vulnerable to the side effects of these PEDs. On top of that, they're still growing. Like most of the athletes, they're already in their mid-20s, early 30s, even beyond that. But you see a little 14-year-old kid, his body's still growing every day, and hormones are already out of whack, then that can affect them a lot more. So now we're going to talk about some solutions. In my opinion, we should be giving a 1-year minimum suspension for the use of PEDs. And on top of that, after that year suspension, they should be placed on a 2-year probation where they're on extreme alert just to make sure that they're done with it and they're not on them anymore. And also on top of that, we should be giving testing throughout the season and even in the off season, just to make sure that in the off season they're not taking PEDs. In conclusion, these athletes are such role models and have such an effect on society that they need to focus more on the intangibles like work ethic, dedication. They shouldn't be looking at the stats and, oh, okay, so they're cheating or they're doing really good, so this must be why. They're committing heinous acts that's just absolute disrespect to the game, and that's also disrespecting themselves when they could be just working hard, proving to everybody why they're in the league and they should be doing it. They're not just affecting their bodies, but they're also affecting the future of baseball and the future minds of the